Can you see that on the camera?
You will. As soon as I set this one up. Wait, I'll take care of it.
Huh?
I'll take care of it.
All right, okay. He's going to arrange it there. Okay, we want to first discuss the 5 major aspects. We've already dealt with placing the planets in their, first in their signs, then in their houses. The way we locate the house of where the planet goes is determined by placing the ascendant, your rising sign, on 0 degrees, first house, not 0 degrees Aries. Because as soon as you place your sign there, unless it is Aries, that first house changes. So if you already know your birth time, or if you know your birth time and you want to find out what your ascendant is, this book helps you to do that. I forget what page that's on. So I'm going to put Gemini at 0 degrees, first house. Therefore, instead of Aries Taurus, it would be Gemini Cancer for me, okay? In other words, this is my first house. This is the second house, which from Gemini, next would be Taurus, where on the regular circle, this would be Aries, this would be Taurus. This would be Gemini, okay? Are you following me there? Okay. Let me make sure I'm doing it right, because
Gemini and Cancer.
Gemini Cancer, right. I did it wrong one day. There's nothing so embarrassing as...
But that is the rising sign that goes right there. Just
the ascendant, yeah. It goes at 0 degrees east.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Whatever your ascendant is, then the sign that follows that particular sign becomes the second house. Okay? And you just simply proceed and back to Pisces or the end of the 12 signs. Wherever your ascendant, rising sign, based on your birth data and the time that you were born, is how you find your ascendant. Let me see here. I should know what page that information is on. I can make it easier than that. That's the page I'm looking for there anyway. What we're going to do is also, we're going to talk about each planet in each sign, okay? We're going to go methodically through the 9 planets and the 12 signs, okay? Over the next however many periods it takes us to get there and how long you can remain interested. Let me do this first here so I don't make this trivial mistake. Gemini, Cancer. Use the symbol, not the word. We're trying to read symbols here. Leo. Now follow along with your own charting. Now here, let me see. Take this here and show him how to find his ascendant. And what you show him how to find his.
Well, I'll just kind of grasp.
Oh, well, okay.
You say I missed 10 lessons.
Well, that's not important. You can start where we are.
Right. So let me.
All right, okay. This kind of information you're going to need a book for. Otherwise, you'll end up spending the rest of the hour just writing this down. As I mentioned, the book you want to get, if you're interested in this level of information, is the book she has there. Okay. Yes,
That's the main one.
Right,
And these others will back.
right, Yeah, you find it?
That's what I was looking for.
Just keep flipping through it till you come to that grid. Yeah, it's near the back there. It's in there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which one of these tables, do we use 30 degrees north or these tables? Two of them, 30 degrees north and 40.
Well, that's determined by what state one is born in. If they're born south or north. You born in the south? Michigan north. Okay. I think it's on the other page. Yeah. Now, if you don't know what time you're born, then you use what's called the solar chart, just simply placing your sun in your sign. You don't place it at 0 degrees Aries. And you work from the ephemeris and place the planets under the sign that they're naturally in, disregarding the position of your ascendant. Okay? So that you have what's called the sun chart or the solar chart.
So when his chart began at 0 degrees Aries?
That would be Aries.
Okay.
On the solar chart.
Okay.
It wouldn't change.
It wouldn't change
at all if he doesn't know what. Do you don't know what time you're born?
I'm looking at it. I think around
Now don't think, no.
Okay, well then let me just go with it.
Okay, all right, okay. So all you do is start with Aries at that horizontal line. Okay, you can close that up. You can't use that. You don't need to use that. On your left is 0 degrees east. I had 13 lines. Nobody caught that. I had 13 lines in here, including that master mason back there. We just drawing lines there. But I'm supposed to have. I got to go get a big piece of cardboard, so I can draw a large enough circle so it can be seen from the whole room. I got some small ones, but that ain't gonna get it. just with your sun sign, which is based on the day, month, and year you were born. That's all. Okay. Yeah. Going counterclockwise. Good. Here's somebody back saying good.
He went through on, didn't miss a beat. He didn't miss a beat.
All right. Well, with a little practice, just a little practice. Now that should be 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's better. Okay. Gemini, Cancer. Wait a minute. Still made this one a little big, but that's okay. Gemini, Cancer. Gemini, Cancer, Leo. Because one thing you always know, when you find your ascendant and you place it here, your opposite sign is always parallel to your ascendant, because it's the opposite of your own, of that particular sign, whatever it is. In other words, if Aries is here, Libra is here. Okay? Whatever sign is 0 degrees here, its very opposite will be here. This is the ascendant. This is the descendant. This is midheaven. This is the nadir, or the lowest point of decline of the sun is nadir. Okay, that's why these four lines are so important, because that's what gave the ancient Moors such accurate direction, and based on the North Star, of course. Okay. And I looked over here and I saw Sagittarius down here, and I knew something was wrong when Gemini is over, you know. Okay, so there's one way to set your course correctly. Virgo. Libra. Scorpio. Sagittarius. Yeah. Right. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I know what it is, but I'm not reaching here. I ain't got enough signs left. Aquarius, Capricorn, Pisces would put me right there.
Should be Capricorn
It's
first.
Capricorn or Aquarius.
Right. That's right, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm not covering the...
Aries and Taurus.
Oh, right. Okay, thank you. I'll tell you, I got stuck. I got stuck at Pisces. I thought it was over. I got stuck. I said, "There's something missing here." Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Okay. Very good. And the bull. All right, there we are, 12 signs. Glory be. I got stuck because I'm thinking Aries, you know. Think of Aries first, back to Pisces. Okay, now, what I want you to do is, with your imagination, go to the first line of Aries. Now, turn to your birth date in the ephemeris. Here. First, turn to your year. First thing you look for is your year in the book. Whatever year you're born. And when you get your year, you look for your month and the date that you were born. Now take your ruler and lay it across your date so that you can see your birth date. Take your ruler and lay it across your date. Here, give her a ruler. Shake that rubber off there. Now track over to Mars. Anybody know the symbol of Mars? Is that the symbol of Mars? Okay, well, find that at the very top of the page. Up at the very top, on your year you were born, your month, and on your birth date. Place the ruler under that. Did you bring your ephemeris, my sister? Okay. Did you buy an ephemeris? Okay, hand her that one. I want you to have certain books. Okay, turn to your birth date. Give her a copy here. Give her a copy of the chart there. Place your ascendant. Okay, place your ascendant. You know what your ascendant is? Your rising sign? Did you look it up before? Okay. Turn to.
We have the time problem. We don't know the time.
Oh, okay. What time? You don't know what time you're born? Oh, okay. So 0 degrees Aries is where you're starting from. So go to your birth date in the ephemeris. Here. You have a ruler? Well, give me $1. You now own a ruler. Put it right under your birth date. See how wonderful it is? Suddenly you become owners. Now go to Aries. Excuse me, Mars, the planet Mars, which you find at the top of the page. Place that under whatever symbol that leads right down to your birth date. Okay, there'll be a symbol under Mars in that particular column where you find Mars. You see what I'm talking about? That's Mars. Okay. Now what symbol is in there? Do you know that symbol?
Gemini.
Gemini. Okay, now you place Gemini, you place Mars in Gemini. These are the 30 degrees of Gemini. Okay? Place Mars in there. Now, hold it. Now, I want you to look at the degrees this is for practice. How many degrees is Mars in your particular, in that particular sign? As you see how many degrees it is, estimate approximately going counterclockwise from the cup or cusp of that line to where you think approximately 15 or 10 or 12 or 23 degrees would be, understanding that each one of those cups is 30 degrees. Okay, use your imagination, not numbers, just estimate. See what I'm talking about? Okay. Gemini retrograde. What's your birthday, the 9th? Okay, so it's 29 degrees Gemini. So that would be, this is 1 degree. Look what I'm doing. This would be 30 degrees. So place it as close to 29 degrees. No, that's the sign for Venus. Mars. That's this one here. I put it up on the board so y'all can see it. How you doing, brother? Come on in.
What is Mars?
Up in the left-hand corner.
Okay, 23 degrees, 41.
This one is Mars.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That's Sagittarius.
The 30 is here.
Okay, go
Okay.
there.
Now you're supposed to be putting those symbols here. Aries.
Well,
Taurus
I
here.
didn't
Okay.
know quite enough yet. I
All right,
didn't want
okay.
to do it too.
Okay, now this would be from Aries to here. This would be Sagittarius. The degrees of Sagittarius going this way.
And when you say degrees on here, what are you saying?
Each one of these
So,
columns, see, look at here. These, from here to here is 30 degrees. Now, it says that your Mars is 19 degrees in Sagittarius. So you would, I want you to do is estimate from here towards 30 degrees when you get approximately to 19 degrees, which would be about right there.
You need to
Okay?
trace the word.
I want you to use your imagination
Just tell me if
to
I'm
estimate.
correct. I believe I am. At this
Okay, your Mars is in Taurus. How many degrees?
I mean, it's in Gemini.
Well, then what is it doing here? This is Mars's, Taurus is 30 degrees. This is Gemini. Always in front of the degrees for each sign goes in front of the line, not behind it. Okay? Yeah. So approximately, no, that's Mars, the planet. We're talking about the planets.
okay, Mars.
All these are planets. This one is Mars. That's the sign of Sagittarius. Okay, so that would go, that would be,
Down here, that's, okay, whatever is
all
at
of
the
these
top.
on the top are planets except this one. We're ignoring the nodes right now.
Okay, Mars, and then Sagittarius
It-
comes
this-
all the way down.
No,
This-
well, that's what you have to look to see. It goes down to your birth. Don't go past your birth date.
Oh,
Don't worry about what's beneath your birth date. You're working with your birth date.
Sagittarius.
Right. Use those signs as well. Learn to read the symbols. Okay, the language of nature as interpreted by your ancestors. Okay. Did y'all give him a chart there? Does he have an ephemeris?
No.
Okay. Does he own an ephemeris? Does he know what an ephemeris? I'm sure the brother does. Had him an ephemeris. Okay. Okay. I don't have all the dollars for all the rulers I see on the table. Oh, you just gave it to him? Okay. You now own a ruler, my brother. You owe me $1. Okay. Turn to your year you were born in that book. Then look up your month and your birth date. Place the ruler across that birth date data. Then look for this symbol of Mars. And find out what sign that symbol is in. As you come down the column to your birth date, you stop there. And before you get there, you might see a symbol, one of these symbols, that will tell you what sign Mars is in your chart. That's your solar chart. Do you know what time you were born? Don't start thinking on me. All right, then just use your solar chart then. We're looking at essentially, except for those that do know the time, we're looking at what's called the solar or sun chart.
So if I see 5, 4.
No, look at the sign first, then the degree. Okay. Yes, dear.
So I'm way down here. You said 19 degrees. And
19 degrees.
So what is this?
So you play.
16.5. What is that 16.5?
No, that isn't you. That's on another date. Yours is 19.
Wait.
This planet.
What do you mean it's on another date?
Here are the dates here, dear. Were you born on the 5th?
No, I'm talking about this right here.
Where?
Right, 16.5, right beside that.
That has nothing to do with you. That's on this date. That's where Mars was on the 1st of November. Here is where it was on your birth date.
Okay, you said take the ruler.
Place it right on your birth date.
Across, right?
Yeah, okay, I'll place it on your birth date. Now, hold it still.
Okay, does all of this stuff on
Not
this,
yet. We
does
just
all
deal,
this stuff make any difference?
not in concerning this one planet and on this date in this one sign.
16.5
Has nothing to do with you.
right now.
It kept moving. On your birth date, it was 19 degrees in this sign. On this date, it was 16 degrees in this sign.
Now the degrees, he said,
Okay, so you're interested in 19 degrees.
Each little thing is like a tenth.
Mars is in.
What do you mean on this date? This is on,
That's not your birth date, is it?
all of this is,
That's not your birth date. These are the days people were born.
30 is here.
Where you were born on the 5th, right?
30 is here, so we will be as
right,
close to this
but my
line,
question
this line.
is,
Don't worry
Okay,
about that.
like-
Five would be
That
about
on this date,
right here. And then your place
this
is,
planet was
planet sign,
was
the planet symbol for Mars
23 degrees in Sagittarius
right there.
on a Wednesday. That is not your birthday, so don't be concerned about that. Move down to,
Wednesday on the 1st.
has nothing to do with you. Go to your birthday. That's where I want you to start. Okay?
Okay, yeah, I don't think you got my question, but that's okay, I get it. in a minute.
You asked me the wrong question. I'm
Right,
interested
that's what
I'm interested
saying.
in your
I'm probably
birthday.
asking the wrong
I'm
question.
interested in your birthday, where the planet was on the day you were born. That's what I'm interested in. And how many degrees inside this sign here,
Here it tells you like it's 27.
in these degrees, this would be Sagittarius for you.
That tells you the position.
Yeah, 19 degrees. When you write a degree, you put a little bitty circle next to the number to let you know it's degrees. Put a little bitty circle up there by 19. It tells you, that tells you it's 19 degrees.
20 degrees, it's going to be right in the middle.
By the one, Sagittarius, 19 degrees.
It's going to be in the last third.
In the last third
In
of
the last third of it. Just visually trying to.
Right, yeah, you get a mental estimate.
Brother, what those other, okay, after the degree,
23, it's going to be in the last third.
what are the, what are these?
Minutes and seconds. Degrees, minutes, and seconds to be translated into degrees.
Okay.
A certain number of minutes equal a certain number of degrees, but we're not going to deal with that. We're going to deal with the fixed number right in front of us so we have an idea what we're talking about.
Yeah, well, that's just the minutes. It's 15 degrees, 8.9.
Minutes and seconds. We're not interested in those right now.
It's kind of right in the
Okay.
middle. It really should be kind of right in the middle.
Now what I want you to do is start up there. See those symbols next to the names? Aries? I want you to start here. Put Aries here and go all the way around the circle, straight down through all the signs. Okay, so till you get all of those on the put them on the outside. Here, 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 here. Will you do that for me? Okay, appreciate it. Can't you see from there?
That was what I was asking.
Okay.
Let me do that a little bit later.
All right, okay, all right. Okay. Okay, now, what I'm going to do now is comment on Mars in Aries, then Mars in Taurus, then okay? We're going to deal with each planet in each sign, okay? The rationale of this science is this. We keep meeting these 12 people wherever we are on planet Earth. There aren't any more people that are not in this circle. If they have arm, leg, head, they're in this circle unless they have green skin or blue skin or some other flush. And there's some down here, is my understanding, who don't fit in this circle, as far as we know. But the ones that look like us, as to whether they're white, light brown, or whatever, they're in this circle. The 12 blueprints of the human species. That's why this is relevant. Primarily because this knowledge tells you about you. That's essentially why it's relevant yesterday instead of today. Okay? We should have known this. We should have learned it from the first grade. Instead of playing with ABC blocks, they should have been telling what the hell an A is and what it represents in relationship to self. Okay, if you have the book, turn to the signs. Wait, let me find this information first. And it's interesting, you know, not necessarily unusual. I mean, we're in the 30 degrees of Aries. And Mars is a very important planet for all of us, very much like the sun, because this is the energy that activates us, that animates us. When Mars is in a particular sign, it gives the thrust to get in motion, to do something, particularly if it is in harmony with the other planets in those 30 degrees or in a given aspect. Okay, we'll deal with that later. But it's important to know what's firing you up, and that the energy outside, when you walk out there, is going to be stimulating your brain and nervous system. So when somebody steps on your toe, you don't reach in your pocket and pull out a switchblade like the Negro did in Severance Center and stab the dude to death Christmas Eve in line, getting ready to buy something for his child. Somebody stepped on his shoe and he killed the boy right there in the damn store. You know, okay? In other words, so that you know, you have to take a conscious control of your temperament during high-level energy days. Otherwise, somebody is going to push your button. You know, and like many, we pick up the paper and turn it to, and their life is over what we see as about nothing. You know, about nothing. What moved that little boy to go over that fence chasing a ball into a yard where a damn Doberman Pinscher was, who was just gave birth? You know, food for the dog. Okay? For knowledge not only of self-identity, but proceeding from Monday to Sunday. This is what astrology can help you do. Okay? All right.
Excuse me, Brother Freeman, I
Yes.
have one question that has been bothering me
Okay.
all week.
All right.
Now, we were speaking of the moons and their meanings last week.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we had a new moon on Monday.
Right.
Okay. Now, on the 22nd, we're going to have a full moon.
Mm-hmm.
What is a hare moon? H-A-R-E moon.
H-A-R-E?
Moon.
I don't know what a hare moon is.
I'm
Where,
gonna bring this calendar. Well,
you got the moon calendar?
it's,
The long strip?
no, it's not. It's just a regular calendar, but it has these particular days and what's the best day to do this and.
Oh, H-A-I-R. Hare moon?
Well, they have an H-A-R-E spelled, but it could be.
Well, no, yeah, because that's only hair. That would be a good day to cut your hair. There are good days to cut your hair so that it will grow longer than other days when the energy does not promote growth. Yeah, so it should have been H-A-I-R.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, if you have the book, turn to page 193. If not, listen up carefully. This is a aggressive planet. It vibrates with the aggressive energy of fire, which is red. That's the first vibration equaling the number 1. Mars is a planet of physical energy. It governs your sex drive, your forcefulness, and your aggression. Mars is a planet that spurs you into action. Now, let me see here. Okay, where is that? That should be. If you can see That's Taurus. Yeah, yeah, I do, because I was reading it on the bus. I think later on I did it. Yeah, okay. I don't know if you all can read that from there or not. I doubt it. That's quite a distance. Anyway, they'll get it on camera. I'm still encouraging everyone that's going to participate in this group of classes to buy this book. We don't have any copies now, right now, but we will. And I would like for you to wait on the store to get the books. Patronize this store so it can keep its doors open instead of going out there. And of course, Oxford is closed or closing. But we get impatient and we run to the whiteboard and buy stuff and come back here with it in our bag and then look up and we got it on the shelf. So be a little bit more patient with us, huh? Did you see any back there in the... No? Okay. Yeah, okay. Well, some stuff is so fast selling in this city or state that even the suppliers run out, you know. Okay, let me go on here. Mars is a planet that spurs you into action. So wherever this energy is, in whatever sign or house, it's going to activate the meaning of that house as well as the propensities and the proclivities, the good drive and the negative, okay? So why it's important then to know what sign and what house particularly this motivator is in, because it moves us to action. And it's positive. In order to get anything done on this planet, you got to be moved into action. You got to get up and get the hands and feet going, okay? So it's important. But at the same time, this is the provocator. This is the planet that moves the cycles of war, okay? The bandito, when this particular planet is in retrograde or in a poor aspect, that's when the banks get hit Monday through Sunday. When you turn the TV on, it says there's a group that robbed 7 banks in 7 days. That's Mars, okay, in a negative vibe, okay? So it's important to understand. We need to know that when someone is arguing at us about something we know is not even relevant, that it's not us, that argument is going on in the individual's head, and he or she cannot handle their energy. Okay? That's how you become objective and stand back and just look at the person. If you look, you'll see this mechanic animation. People look like cartoons if you don't get caught up in their energy, you know? Or when Scorpio starts an argument, they send out their energy and grab you, you know? So you're involved unless you're strong enough to mentally and emotionally step back and just let them animate, you know? And believe it or not, in a few minutes, the argument will just die down, you know, instead of raising your sword. That's the only way you can get a war. It's 2 swords have to be up. Okay. All right, okay. Come on in. To learn more about your assertive power, you must study the position of Mars in your birth chart. Now, if that chart is less than 5 degrees in your sign, it's not having a strong effect as an individual position. Then you'd have to go to its aspect. But if it's centered 15 or more degrees, it's affecting that sign and that house and that part of your body. Okay? If it's 15 degrees or more, the flashlight is wide open. Plenty of that stuff is affecting your body and your glands. In parentheses, how does astrology work? The rays of the planets affect our glandular nature and cause a response. We know that by the sun. Women know that by the moon's pull on their watery nature. The other planets are so distant that the energy coming from them is subtle. We don't feel it, okay? But it affects us. What we need to know, and probably where astronomy does play an important part in comprehending astrology, how enormous these planets in our solar system are, how fast they are turning, and how fast they are moving. And understand, we're talking about electricity and fire, light. That's power, okay? Okay? And the only one that we are constantly aware of is the sun's rays, okay, that give us so much energy we become exhausted. You know, it doesn't drain us. You know, it just pours out so much. Our bodies can't absorb it. You know, and we become another important point. We become very easily dehydrated. When you say, "I'm thirsty," you've been dehydrated almost a half a day. Okay. So same thing when you're walking around. You start, "I feel woozy. I feel this." You're dehydrated. Go drink some water and sit down. Okay. One of the best medicines we have is good, clean water, not the toilet water we've been drinking out of the fountain. That's got all kind of stuff in it. Okay, so spend $1 and buy you a bottle of clean water. Okay. From early times, Mars has excited and stirred the imagination. Again, this energy stirs the imagination. And if your glandular stuff is out of whack, it pops your imagination. So someone says something, and immediately a picture jumps up in your head of you slapping them, cutting them, shooting them, or hitting them in the head with something, okay? This is a stimulus, quick stab, jab, that could be, would be inspiration if you're balanced, okay? The difference between inspiration and provocation is, are you balanced? Can you handle the energy that's coming at us on a cyclical basis? If you can, you get something done. If you don't, you either end up in trouble or moseying off to sleep for 4, 5, 8 more hours. Okay, you know, you don't get anything done that day. You know, we don't need to shut down as often as we think. Okay. I won't get into, it's named after a Roman god. Ain't no damn Roman god. In astrology, we need to understand that Roman mythology is an interpretation of ancient Moorish mythology, or ancient so-called Egyptian. That's where they got their god symbology, knowledge, and mythology from. Okay, even European metaphysicians and occultists will tell you that. Okay, that Isis is a god that the Romans worshipped and gave her the name Isis. That was Aset, okay, a black woman. Okay. In astrology, Mars governs energy, boldness, the will to win, huge key for us. The idea of winning should be a constant part of your thinking vocabulary. To win something every day. If it's nothing but a good, valuable, important word, that in itself can be a remarkable victory for that day. But the idea of winning is a part of a Moor's character. We're not yielding to the psychology of losers. That's the status of the servant. And we know the word servant is a synonym for slave. And we will have none of that. Okay, all right. Now, why Michael's image is so important. This man burns with an urge to win. You know. I mean, this man has got 4 or 5 rings. Still, he can't stop wanting to win. That's the consciousness that makes for success. That's what should drive a child to her bedroom or his bedroom with some books. You see, not to win an A or B, win some knowledge so they know what's up. Okay. Okay. This is the planet that drives us towards our success, or as I said, towards our mistakes. Aggressive. The energy is either aggressive positively or aggressive quarrelsomely. Okay. Another big key. It tells what kind of physical endurance you possess and also how accident prone you are. Aries is constantly bumping their head on something until they get to a certain age and they learn to move it out of the way. But when they were kids, they'd come home with the scar here and the scar. Well, what did you do? I bumped my head on the book. They lead with their head. It's a natural propensity. What that really means, they're supposed to lead with their conscious mind, not their subconscious. Much of adolescent and youth behavior is subconscious behavior. They are reacting instead of planning, preparing, and then acting. Okay. But as we mature through the cycle of 27 years, when the cerebral spinal system solidifies, that's when you're an adult, not a day before, okay? So that you're conscious of who and what you are and have control of self. It's you doing that, walking across the street, turning right, turning left, not an impulse. I know a lot of times you've seen people, or if you paid any attention, they look like target objects that somebody's shooting BBs at. They start walking this way and then they turn. Then they turn. That's all advertising, moving them back and forth towards a product. I should go get, no, wait a minute, I should get, that's all subconscious behavior. And that's how they move the masses. Okay. When Mars is prominent in your chart, you have a go-getting personality with enormous energy and a rugged constitution. You tend to be enterprising, quick, active, and you hate to be ordered around. Not only after that, Mars, Aries don't like to be ordered around, never. Don't tell me what to do, ask me. That's very much, because that's the head. The head is leadership. They're supposed to know what they're about. But it's important that they know that, so they will prepare to take control of their lives, their destiny. See? So they always have an alternative to what someone else is either instructing, explaining, authorizing, or insisting upon. Depending on how you use Mars's force, you may be argumentative or quarrelsome, reckless, and encounter a great deal of discord in your sex relationships. Aggression plays with the human ego, and the human ego always wants to be right. Okay, so that's where the self-evaluation comes in. None of us are always right. Okay, so we need to leave room for compromise. That keeps us balanced. Okay, the one energy is a thrust forward. It is not, wait a minute, somebody says, think about it. I haven't thought about it. That's one energy. Go on out there and get out there and hang in it. Well, damn, maybe I should have. Okay, that's the lesson Aries or Mars teaches, not just Aries, but all of us, because Aries is our head. Okay, it isn't just those 30 degrees, it's everybody's head. Okay. In its highest form, Mars represents your unleashed energy and your human will. The other aspect of power and control, direction and success. Can you focus your willpower on a given thing? Or is it spread out like this? You want everything. Or you want what somebody else wants you to have. Those are the sheep. Buy this, and we'll give you one of these free. Hold on, let me put my... Okay, that's the sheep. Okay. When you're sitting there and you know you don't need that, but we become so conditioned to being sold stuff to that every time somebody says save and buy, that's a strange piece of commercial. But we hear it and we don't hear it. If they're telling you to save, then they tell you to buy. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. It's only legitimate if you wanted that in the first place. Okay. And it was like $250, and then which they do often, cut it down and it's $105. Yeah, go get that if you wanted it before, okay? But not because it costs 30%, 40%, you know. They're just selling. That's just selling. But this is the kind of impulse energy that comes from the planet energy Mars, okay? Okay. Now what I wanted to do, and I'm going to do, is go through each sign, skim through them, because we're going to cover all 12 signs with all 9 planets, all 8, because you pretty much should know what the sun means in your own sign. You know, if you don't buy some kind of book, give you some idea about those 30 degrees that you're walking around here representing. It's relevant even for you to appreciate yourself. It isn't just understanding yourself. This science, this knowledge helps you to appreciate yourself. We've lost the sense of valuableness as people due to the values placed on things. Our children, that will hit you in the head for the portraits of dead presidents because what you got in your pocket means more to them than you do. So we know we need to correct our sense of valuableness, not values, valuableness first. That we are valuable human beings. We are divine souls. We are the descendants of ancient kings, queens, rulers of the planet. We are, in essence, the expression of what is called God. That those are our real credentials in this universe and the next. Only if you know it. Nobody else is going to hand you those kind of credentials. You have to take them with you. Otherwise, you're going to be somebody's puppet, flunky, or boy. Mars in Aries. Mars is in its natural home in Aries, the sign it rules, and emphasizes qualities of brilliance, force, and energy. As a Mars Arian, you are given self-confidence and force of character. Others always know how you feel about the subject because you tell them in no uncertain terms. You're courageous and honest, but the opposite side of the coin is that you can be tactless, blunt, and combative. Your passions are fiery and are quickly ignited. Active and assertive in your sex life, you aggressively go after what you want, whether it's a long-term lover or just a bedmate for the night. The professions of big business and politics are populated with Mars Arians, for natives of this position have a domineering will to win. You're able to make others respond to your ideas. Your youthful, springy appearance lasts a lifetime. Okay? Very, very much atypical of the 30 degrees of Aries. And a part of the philosophical fact that you're born to win, okay? That you have the energy to get you from point A, goal setting, to point whatever, success, that you already have it. What makes the difference is another Aries Mars quality, your will to succeed. That's the key that unlocks your insight so that your inner self will show you the blueprint of how to get there and get it done. You know, it's in your own mind. Your whole plan is in each one of our own consciousness. Being aware of self. Well, usually we're listening to somebody else tell us how to do this and how to do that according to how they perceive it. Okay. Let's see, we started at 2. I don't want to take us too far here. Mars in Taurus. What do you say? What do you say?
An hour and 5 minutes left.
An hour and 5 minutes on his 3-hour damn tape. If you have Mars in Taurus, you tend to triumph through your own determination and persistent efforts. Your vitality is a slow and steady force that drives you on to success. Success to you means money, material possessions, and true love. A great deal of your energy is spent in sexual pursuits. Your passions are earthy and voluptuous. In love affairs, you try to dominate and to possess. And the firmness and the love affair you try to dominate and to possess, and the firmness to your nature can become downright obstinate. Difficulties tend to rise because you are unwilling to see anyone else's point of view. Because of your tenacity, you have the power to create almost anything you can envision. Sometimes a bent toward depression or temper tantrums, often tantrums, mars your happiness, smears or gets in the way. Okay? This is the energy following another procedure. Instead of a quick push, it's a slow, gradual movement through the Taurian psychology. That's very much like the bull. Takes its time to get to where it's going. Watch its steps. But it gets there. I mean, I get there when Aries does, but it gets there. You know? Provided balanced. Again, everything in perspective. We're trying to obtain and then maintain balance. But the problem of, or the challenge of Taurian propensities is, yeah, I see what you mean. Happy. Yeah, looking through a hole smaller than a pin, you know. Very, very narrow-minded, you know, so that they can't see the full picture until they become aware, you know, okay, that there is a full picture. There's that side and their side, but they can be terribly narrow-minded. Stubbornness in children is really determination with no direction. It's an ability to persist, insist, and consist. But if it has no direction, it's just arrogant stubbornness. That's very Taurian. Slow to change anything, even the dirty drawers. I'm exaggerating. They're slow in consideration of change. They like stability, stabilization, you know, and that impairs their capacity to grow. Okay? We are given to change. You know, that's the only permanent thing down here, is constant change. So if you're riding the rhythm of change, you're always progressing. You're always accomplishing. You know. Okay. Anybody here got Mars and Taurus?
Somebody has Mars and Virgo, so you want to skip over?
Yes, we can skip over to Mars in Virgo.
I think you got the big picture.
As a Mars in Virgo person, you're a prodigious worker who finds your best success in systematic approach or systematized approach. You're ambitious and proud, though this is not always apparent on the surface. Extremely strong-willed. You can separate yourself from your emotions when it comes to making decisions. In your work, you are shrewd, calculating, and quietly determined. You suspect people who only want to deal with big problems because somehow such people never seem to reach any useful conclusions. Mars in Virgo may appear sexually cool, but in truth, you're a glamorous sex. You're glamorous, thank you. You're glamorized sex. You want it to be both physical and rapturous and mentally exciting. Your passions are strong, but kept under tight rein. Mars Virgos tend to be successful in professions where control of emotions is advantageous. Politics, psychology, and also investigation or investigators. When putting a plan into action, you must be aware of getting bogged down in detail. The Virgoian tendency towards analytical order is something that can become, if not a fetish, even a mania, in terms of everything being in order. And it forces you to deal with the microcosm, the little bit, while the big thing is going on. And you miss the meaning of why things should be in order. So they can get something done, not for the sake of order, not for the sake of everything making sense.